How do you do? The Box Office Pulp Board feels it would be a little unkind to present this podcast without just a word of friendly warning. We're about to unfold a cinematic commentary track, made by a group of men who sought to create a podcast after their own ravings, without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with three great mysteries of the internet: analysis, observation, and deconstruction. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel you'd not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to, well, we've warned you. Now, to pause and refresh. For your convenience, we have an attractive refreshment stand in the lobby, with buttered popcorn, golden good and hot from the popper, your favorite candies, wholesome and rich, plus delicious Dr. Pepper, so bright and bracing with a tang and tingle unmatched by any other beverage. Enjoy an ice-cold Dr. Pepper at our beverage stand right now, and then return to fully appreciate this bop and a movie commentary track. Enjoy.
Since it's October, and we have a few more minutes to kill, thought it might be a good time to discuss the origins of Halloween.
Here's a question. What is your favorite coin? Mine is probably a nickel.
I actually don't like coins. I wish they never existed.
Well, I think that's fair. They really shouldn't.
I feel a totemic satisfaction anytime I hold a quarter in my hand. Like
There's
I'm holding a piece of
something to
American
that.
mythology.
I mean, I could just have a round piece of metal, though, that doesn't have spending power, and I'd be okay with it. I don't
Like
need
a
my
bottle
wallet
cap?
clogged up. Sure, perfect. I love it.
Bottle cap is a form of currency.
We're not playing these Fallout rules.
Oh, when you have 4 quarters in your pocket, don't you feel like you're part of something that's been happening since the dawn of man? Like I have the symbols of commerce clanking in my jeans, like they did in ancient Mesopotamia.
No, I do not feel that power. The only thing that feels good about having coins is when you go up to a jukebox and you slam a quarter in, and then it plays a cool song that other people in the bar also appreciate. Or you slam on a song everyone in the bar hates. That's fine, too.
I did that with the Spider-Man theme at a diner at Mike's house.
Ah,
It's true.
okay.
True.
Good use.
Except she wasn't supposed to play the Spider-Man theme, but she got so excited by the Spider-Man theme, she played the Spider-Man theme.
As you do.
I have poor impulse control.
Especially when it comes to Spider-Man. You know, thanks to change, though, that's how Tom Hanks in that movie was able to eat.
The Terminal? All right. Did you forget the name of one of the greatest Tom Hanks movies? The Terminal?
No, I just like saying that movie in regards to the Terminal. That makes it funnier to me, Cody.
Sure. Welcome to Box Office Pulp, your one-stop podcast for movies, madness, and moxie. Tonight, though, it's a special occasion. I'm glad you're here, listener, because it's a bop in a movie, but it's not just any bop in a movie. It's our annual Big-Ass Pumpkin Day. That's right. The most special holiday of them all, because we didn't quite make it, but we did steal it. It's ours now. We've kind of been squatting on the rights long enough where it officially belongs to us, and we can sue you if you try to make your own Big-Ass Pumpkin Day celebration without
buy
our
the
permission.
website.
We really should. Hold on. Let me check it and make sure it's still around.
It's going to turn out to be a porn site, isn't it?
Can't seem to reach this page. So Big-Ass Pumpkin Day, all one word, is non-existent.
So we found the one website that doesn't even have a landing page.
Yeah, they didn't even bother. Like, no one wants this one.
Interesting.
Register website. Oh, I typed website wrong. Big-Ass Pumpkin Day. Oh, no. I typed register website Big-Ass Pumpkin Day, and the first thing it took me to was a Pornhub link for big-ass pumpkin porn videos.
Yeah. Pumpkins were really big in porn a couple of years ago.
No, their sex tube is more popular and features more big-ass pumpkin scenes than Pornhub! Exclamation point. Oh.
So are pumpkins, does that mean ass, or does that mean like you're putting an entire gourd in you?
A lot of people were fucking pumpkins a couple of years ago. It was a bit of a porn meme.
You gotta do those guts. Gotta get up on them guts.
I was never prouder as a trans woman than that year.
There's two things I have to report about my search results for Big Ass Pumpkin Day. Typing register website Big Ass Pumpkin Day. The first 4 results are different porn sites. There's Pornhub, Spank Bank, Youpornia. Then it's back to Spank Bank for the perfect pumpkin ass of your dreams.
I'm so happy there's actually a porn site named Spank Bank. I'm glad someone took initiative there.
Yeah, but the important thing is the 5th one. It's a YouTube link to our Big Ass Pumpkin Day celebration episode for Pumpkinhead.
I didn't know that was
followed by another Pornhub link for Ricky's Room Big Ass Halloween Pumpkin with Abigail Morris. Some results have been removed. Thank you, Google. We made the top page. Jesus Christ. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for joining us for Big Ass Pumpkin Day. I haven't seen the movie we're watching tonight, so I assume it has big ass pumpkins. We're really crossing our fingers. So if you'd like to watch along, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, this is on Tubi?
It's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. The movie is Beg. So if you go to Tubi and look up Beg, you can kind of follow along. There's probably going to be commercial breaks on your end, so that's going to make this a little chunky, but
watch it with ad blocker. There is a version on YouTube, but it's shorter for some reason. But we're watching specifically so I don't know if that's like was screwed with, like sped up or something.
They took all the pumpkins out.
They took all the pumpkins out. The pumpkinless version. That and women, pumpkins and women.
Is this the Mormon edition? What are we watching?
Yes, everyone has CGI underwear on. So we're watching. I want to state for the record that my pick, the one I was excited for once it was brought up, was the stupid Hallmark pumpkin pie movie.
I had several people recommend to me that we should have watched the Hallmark movie.
I think it would have been a good way to go. Instead, we're watching Beg, which we are watching because someone's wearing a pumpkin match on the cover, and we recognize people in the credits.
Yeah, the illustrious
stunt casting works.
The illustrious backstory to this pick was my partner was going through Tubi a few weeks ago, saw a thumbnail with a dude in a pumpkin mask, and said, "Hey, babe, you can use this for that pumpkin thing."
They're not wrong. And to make sure everyone's on the same page, because I'm realizing now there are many movies called Beg, some with or without exclamation points. I believe this is Beg from 2011 by
it's the one with Tony Todd in it.
Kevin McDonald. So yeah, if you don't see Tony Todd, take it back. It's no good. I believe that for most movies.
Or you've accidentally put on a different movie that's better.
We haven't seen this yet, so it's tough to judge that.
You know what? I mean, granted, Pumpkin Hole turned out to be good.
Different genre than we were expecting. We thought it was going to be like piece of shit. Instead, it was like an actual dramatic piece.
It was a dramatic movie. It, may or may not have been a unabashed ripoff of The Machinist, but still very good.
I would say Pumpkinhead is much better than we give it credit for in the episode.
Yeah, true.
I like
where
when we did
going with
Halloween
this? What are we doing with this? Are we going to watch this thing?
Let's just all right. You got a drink.
That's true. I have 2 drinks because I expect one might be bad. So, my first drink, delicious, delicious hot apple cider. Just the good stuff. I love it. The other drink, we're going to see how this is going to turn out. Any drink that gives you like 3 possible substitutions for ingredients makes me think, oh, this will be bad. They're giving you multiple outs. But this is the Pumpkin Martini from, what website is this from? Who did I steal this from? NoSpoonNecessary.com. According to this, you're going to need 2 ounces of pumpkin spice vodka or regular vodka or vanilla vodka. Just get a vodka. Raspberry, don't give a shit. Vodka. Then you need 1 ounces of dark rum, or if you don't feel like dark rum, rum chata. The exact same thing. 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. You can either make it yourself or just buy canned pumpkin puree. 1 ounces of maple syrup. A 1/4 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. A 1/2 ounce of half and half, or Irish cream if you want it really boozy. And then this is optional too, a pinch of pumpkin pie spice, and exactly 3 ice cubes when you throw it all into the shaker and mix this thing up. So I've already mixed mine. It's got like a kind of orangish hue to a creamy, thick kind of constitution here. It looks like an Irish cream kind of drink, but with a little bit of pumpkin. Also, to top this off, I found this in stores, so I gotta use it. Dairy Stars naturally flavored pumpkin dairy whipped topping spray can. So let's just top this guy off with some pumpkin. Hold on, the nozzle's not behaving. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, this is getting all over my laptop.
Stop covering your laptop in pumpkin things for these commentaries.
No, it is tradition. Oh no, I put a lot of cream on and it's slowly collapsing onto my mouse. No. It's like the Leaning Tower over here. No. Hold on. Okay, let me get a little sip of this. I got to eat like a fucking 3-inch mound of cream first. Hold on. Wow, this whipped cream tastes nothing like pumpkin.
It is unfortunately alcoholic, so you are already wasted.
No, that's a line in the stand I won't pass. I've tried alcoholic whipped creams before, and they all taste like ass.
That's a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It's very bad. I would not recommend alcoholic whipped cream. They haven't figured it out.
Just chemically, I don't know how that would work.
Oh, what happened to this? Oh, no. I'm starting to wonder if one of my ingredients is expired, because this tastes bad. Like, worse than it should. I used the rum chata that had been in my fridge for a long time, and I'm starting to wonder if that turned. Oh.
Do you still have the bottle? Can we check?
It's in my fridge. I don't think we want to delay the show anymore to have me investigate. Let me get
the content, Cody.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try one more sip, and then we'll go investigate. Yeah, that's really bad. I used the vanilla vodka and the pinch of pumpkin spice and 2 tablespoons of. Oh no! Do you ever just feel like you've gotten food poisoning? Like you just know it's going to be a thing tomorrow you got to deal with?
I also decided to throw some green yogurt in there.
I do have some Greek yogurt. I had some limited edition pumpkin flavored Greek yogurt. I could have really.
How is that? I've seen that.
It's really. I'm pissed because my store doesn't have anymore. They had for like 2 weeks and it's gone.
I'm gonna have to get that if it's good.
It was good. It tastes surprisingly good. A little bit sweeter than you'd expect because it's yogurt, but pretty tasty. Also, the one I got was in a combo pack, so it was half that and half apple cinnamon pie. And that one was my favorite because it had these little chunks of apple inside the Greek yogurt. I really like that texture difference.
Nice.
I'm dreaming of yogurt. This is so bad. Let me go check that rum chata. Make sure I didn't eat something that's going to kill me.
Good call. I like how this is what the commentary has devolved into.
I knew it was going to come to this eventually. I just didn't think it would be for a big ass pumpkin day drink.
I really want to try pumpkin spice Cheerios. Or cornflakes, or they have frosted flakes that are pumpkin spice now. I'm curious about those.
Pumpkin spice cornflakes. I think that would be good.
Seems like it. I'm just a sucker. Anything pumpkin spice, I will eat and probably enjoy.
Okay, we can stop vamping. I have a little shot glass filled with rum chata. It still smells like cinnamon, so maybe it's all right.
No, the container doesn't have like an expiration date on it?
No. It's a white bottle. It's like a cream-based rum liqueur. So it's supposed to be refrigerated, but I don't know how long it stays good for. This wasn't bad enough to make me feel like I'm going to die, but it also doesn't quite taste good. So I'm going to assume the rum chata spoiled that one.
That is an important part whenever you make this drink. Make sure it's spoiled.
That definitely helps. Maybe like...
It's a rotten pumpkin.
If I had good color vision, maybe I'd be like, oh, this isn't orange, it's green, but I can't tell. So anyways, thank God I have the pumpkin dairy whipped topping to keep me company, my apple cider, and because I didn't know how to wash the rest of this out of my mouth, a can of Hams, or a pineapple mango honey bee cannabis THC sparkling water.
Woo!
Which I won at a bar last night when they were having a reggae giveaway.
I was hoping you would just eat a tin of Vienna sausages.
I'm not opposed. I got a can of Spam, but I don't feel like wasting that right now.
I don't think you need sodium right now after all this.
Can I say how funny a combination of words cannabis mineral water is to me?
It's not mineral water. It's a sparkling water. Very different. These are what's
the most California combination of words.
These are what's a legal thing in Wisconsin. We can have THC infused sparkling waters.
Goddamn millennials.
They're actually pretty good. I'm a fan. I haven't tried the mango one before, but it was a giveaway, so I'm not going to say no. All right.
We're going to have to start this movie eventually.
Yeah, well, I guess we're at it. So, folks, turn on your Tubis. Mike, you want to do us the honors of counting us down? 1, 2, 3. Oh, God, nothing can stop it now. This is an hour 46? Jesus.
I know.
Why didn't we take the one with all the pumpkins removed? That would have been so much faster.
This is longer than some Marvel movies.
Yeah, okay. I see people online complaining that movies are too long, which I think is kind of an eye roll thing, because obviously some of the stuff like Dune is great, and that's very long. Dune Part 2 specifically.
Yeah.
But then I see so many movies where they're like 2 hours and 15 minutes long, and you just go, I lost interest at 2 hours. You did not need the extra time. This one is luckily under 2 hours, but we'll see if that hour 46 is justified.
Oh, God, I think that it's not so much that movies are too long these days. It's that, good Lord, are some movies hilariously bloated?
That's true. You could have...
Long does not mean you're epic.
You could have an hour 15-minute movie that feels like it's several hours in a good way. I always think of, all the stop-motion movies that are barely over an hour long, but you watch them and you feel like you had a long, fulfilling experience with them. Like Nightmare Before Christmas, surprisingly short, doesn't feel like they're shortchanging you. It feels like you get a lot of movie. Then you have other things where it's like, Jesus Christ, why is this 2.5 hours long?
This is completely anecdotal, but I first started noticing that as an ever-increasing trend around the time Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End came around.
Yeah, those were hefty.
That seemed to be like right around the time every big movie started being really, really epic.
Except if you were released by Fox. They were getting progressively shorter at the time.
That was the X factor.
Where has the needle swung in regards to the second and third Pirates movies? I feel like all the other ones that came after made 2 and 3 seem like way better movies.
Pretty much. I still stand by 2.
2 I loved, but it's hampered because you really need 3 to finish 2.
Yeah.
So it's a half of a movie.
And 3 is just broken.
There's some weird stuff happening in 3.
Meanwhile, I didn't really care that much for 2, but ended up enjoying 3 more. So, I haven't seen any of those movies since they came out, so that'd be wild to do like a commentary or something eventually.
I mean, I think everyone agrees, which is weird, that number 1 is just a fantastic, near-perfect movie. You almost never get it where everyone agrees, like on a long franchise, oh no, that one was flawless. And then I think opinions are fairly close that 2 and 3 are a big step down, but they're still much, much better than what we got in 4 and 5. It stopped at 5, right?
No,
one had Blackbeard. Lord help me, I can't remember my pirates.
Because there was the Blackbeard one.
Yep,
which I was really excited
Tides. And then
Tides,
then the one with Javier Bardem, which we have talked about on this podcast at length about, and it has been erased from our minds.
Yeah,
that's
so
how nothing that movie was.
I'm on the wiki. There are in fact 5 of them. It's On Stranger Tides in 2011, and then Dead Men Tell No Tales in 2017. So it feels like we're kind of due. I'm surprised they have not tried to get out another Pirates yet.
Are they still trying to do that, like that Margot Robbie?
I haven't heard anything that's so long.
Reboot thing?
I feel like it's got to be dead.
Harry Manfredini, what?
What?
Oh. There is some surprisingly big names in this thing. We've got a well-known composer. We've got Tony Todd, which we've already said several times, but that's exciting to me. Who else? Isn't there another big name somewhere on this
Souls
poster?
is in here.
Yeah.
All for a
lot of
movie
people
where
with
the
last name
opening
McDonald.
All for a movie that's opening scream blew out the microphone. I did check. This is not the Kids in the Hall, Kevin McDonald, which would have tied all of this together.
Just in case people aren't paying attention, they're just so fascinated by us. The summary for this movie is, Jack Fox, a burnt-out detective, is being forced in early retirement as the worst serial killer since the Boston Strangler begins a killing spree through the streets of Salem. When Detective Steve Ryan moves to town with his family, Jack is torn between a life of retirement and sanity, or helping rookie Detective Ryan in his quest to solve these killings that are haunting the people of Salem. If, you can't really take issue with the synopsis because it's not the movie, but isn't that insane? The guy is being given the choice, hey, you can be in retirement or you can catch a killer. Because wouldn't catching the killer make the retirement relaxing? I know if I was just sitting around a city and there's a super prolific killer walking around, I probably would have a hard time enjoying all that time off.
Oh, you're just Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2, just eating that big hot dog. And nothing's bothering me. Also, I love forensic analyst Christopher Titus back there.
Also, smoking a cigar at a crime scene fascinates me.
Just a little bit of ash. It helps bring out the fingerprints. All right. So this is just Twin Peaks. We've got the trees. We've got the.
I was getting
everything.
that vibe. Yeah. Someone's about to bury a necklace. Oh, we're not in Pumpkin Hole again, are we?
Surprise! It's the Pumpkin Hole Extended Universe.
It's written in jam.
Doesn't Jack Fox just sound like he should be the main character of a mid-tier, like, PlayStation 1 espionage series?
Either
like,
that or he should be played by Franco Nero in, like, exploitation martial arts movie.
Either way, Jack Fox is going to come out of that grave and start whooping a ninja ass.
I have always wondered, when you're making a movie, how do you pick the character names? Because I feel like it'd be very easy to go the pretentious route and be, you know, oh, every name has special meaning. So everyone's just rolling their eyes. Or you go the other route where you just pick the most generic name possible and everyone hates it because they can't remember the guy's name because it's like Jack Smith.
I have so much trouble with names whenever I'm writing for exactly that reason. The urge to OCFI everyone is so tempting.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I will, mainly because I'm an etymology fucking nerd, that I'll dive back and find names that have interesting meanings to use them. Then other times it'll be, oh, that sounds interesting. And it has no meaning behind it.
I almost feel like every time you name a character, it should just come out of a hat. Like, you should just grab a name and be like,
yeah,
Garfield. Okay. Weird one, but that was in the
honestly,
hat.
Name generators are the best.
Yeah. My big pet peeve right now is the number of characters that are clearly just named as homages to other things. Which,
Detective Carpenter?
Yeah, all of those. I'm sure as a kid, like a teenager, I was excited because like, hey, it's that thing I like. Yay! And now as an adult, I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. We all like the same things. You don't have to tell me you like John Carpenter. That's just a given. Transylvania is actually Rob Zombie's latest record. Shout out to Rob Zombie. I went to Riot Fest last weekend, and Rob Zombie probably had the best set at the entire weekend. I was blown away.
I'm so jealous.
It was fucking phenomenal. So it's just maximalism in terms of the visuals. Everything on the stage was a video screen. So you'd have a set where he's just singing a song and everything is covered in digital hellfire. But there's also real fire on the stage. And they have pyrotechnics on the bottom shooting fireballs and sparklers on top shooting 20-foot long sparkling jets down at the stage. And the drummer, for some reason, is 20 feet in the air. And there's a 15-foot tall Satan puppet walking. And Rob Zombie's there singing Living Dead Girl behind a pulpit that's like a day glow satanic altar. It's fucking amazing. And then the song will end, it'll go dark for 2 seconds, and they'll swap everything on stage for something equally weird, like just a bunch of UFOs or an alien with giant glowing eyes. It's amazing.
Was anyone fucking in it?
I wish. I hope.
Cody, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you just very, very, very quietly, calmly say, everybody's fucking in the UFO?
Everybody's fucking in the UFO.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Scream, Blackula, scream.
This seems like now it just seems like some kind of code word. So the police are going to swarm. I love it.
My favorite bit of crowd work too was Rob Zombie announcing, "Okay, women, grab your boyfriends or your husbands or your girlfriends or your wives or whoever you came with. Just whatever big person you came with, climb on top of them. I want to serenade you.
He's so polite.
Rob Zombie, inclusive. And then he sang "Living Dead Girl" as all the girlfriends were perched atop their boyfriends. It was romantic.
That's amazing. Him and Alice Cooper played near me not that long ago, but
oh yeah, I saw they're doing a co-headliner.
Yeah, it was a Freaks on Parade tour.
So that was the main thing I learned at Riot Fest.
Look at the dad Thanksgiving we've got going on in here.
I think they're all clones of each other.
All of these men are named Ray. I mean, they're looking for a killer that's just killing the same white girl over and over, apparently.
I think there were 4 people in this room that were bald.
Ray.
This is a weird thing for me
Batman.
personally, but if I see a bunch of bald cops, I assume the movie is set in Boston. So it's a little weird to me this is set in Salem. That's just a weird bias in my head. It doesn't make any sense, but I just see like 4 bald cops. I'm like, that's Boston.
They were all born there, but they're on loan to Salem because of witches.
Very important discussion point here that has nothing to do with Beg. Sorry, Beg. We'll get back to you.
Thank God.
I recently bought the Warner Brothers Blu-ray 2-pack of Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost and Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. And I rewatched them both. It's strange to me that people don't talk more about Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Everyone goes back to Zombie Island as like the greatest Scooby-Doo animated. And it's really good. I don't want to slight that one in any capacity. But on the other hand, Witch's Ghost has Tim Curry voicing a character. It's
playing
got the Hex Girls.
Clive Barker.
Yes, the Hex Girls show up for like the first time and get to sing songs. It's got like the same edge as Zombie Island, where there's like an actual real spooky ghost. Minor spoilers. Witch's Ghost fucking kind of rocks. I'm shocked that one does not get brought up at the exact same time as Zombie Island.
It is awesome. Honestly, as good as Zombie Island is, I think I like Witch's Ghost more.
Same. I always preferred Witch's Ghost as a kid.
I'm still more of a Zombie Island guy, but I think both should be held in almost equal regard.
Agreed.
And then it makes me very sad that the quality dips off so quickly to...
Immediately, yeah. Renaissance! Oh, no.
I mean, Alien Invaders is fun. I don't think that one's bad.
Alien Invaders is underrated. I do think that gets too much hate.
Yeah.
That's a fun.
I think it's just the fact that it's a basic Scooby-Doo.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really plays up some of the comedy a little bit more than some of the others.
It's like a weird meta thing, so it's got that.
Yeah, Cyber Chase has some interesting ideas.
Yeah, those are like the classic 4 of the revival Scooby movies. But
Mr. Todd.
Yeah, then they really disappeared after that. The quality just bums me out so much. And also, boy, they look like real movies. those first 4, the animation, the shading of it all, they just look expensive. They look like actual animation you would see in a theater. And no offense to some of the other Scooby-Doos, which are fine, but you see some of the newer stuff now, and it just feels like extended episodes of the TV shows.
Yeah, those are still the best-looking Scooby-Doo movies.
Honestly, the Scooby-Doo movies didn't look good again until the most recent 2, honestly.
They got very stylized with those, which I love. That helps a lot. Oh no, Sam Hine is going higher and higher.
Can we cannot go that Tony Todd just spelled out Sawway.
Sawway. And he pronounced it correctly. He told me I'm saying it
Halloween skeletons.
And no lighting.
There is they did not afford bulbs for this production. So.
This is one of my favorite low-budget movie conventions. The classroom that's just some man's living room.
I do appreciate, though, that I thought this was going to be Tony Todd shows up for like a brief cameo. You know, like the Final Destination thing where he just acts creepy in one scene and it's over. They're letting Tony Todd have some fun here. He's like making little jokes and he's scribbling all over this marker board.
Tony Todd's so happy he doesn't have to be creepy.
Tony Todd just looks like he's having fun here. This is nice.
He's schooling some white folk. Some boring ass white folk. I hope all die.
Man,
remember when I had a Western series?
I don't quite love the new Candyman.
Wait, did they just pass a joint in class?
Yes.
Well, it's so dark in there. I mean,
We're gonna do this drug deal where they'll never expect it.
Oh no, Tony Todd is giving off the vibes of that one science teacher from Spider-Man 1. The I kid you not man.
This is actually him grown up.
Empty your pockets. I kid you not. Ooh, we're getting some passion.
He wants his goddamn money.
I was talking about Candyman. I don't quite love the new one, but I'm very disappointed it didn't get like an immediate sequel or two.
Same.
Should have, yeah.
Even if I thought it was just like a B level movie, like that's still enjoyable. I'm happy to get those. Not everything has to be an A++. And it gave us a hint of Tony Todd. I would love it if they brought it back and everyone just got to be doing more Candyman shenanigans.
I do still think the new Candyman got a little fucked in the editing room.
I could believe that. It feels like something was dropped, like a plot point or something was just missing during that third act, and it just doesn't quite come together the way it should.
It's a shame. I really love that movie up to a point, and then it's like they cut 15 minutes out of it, and the movie just stops.
So do you think we're all waiting around to see like Nia DaCosta's next movie and see if it also gets re-edited? And see if there's like there's something going on here.
She's got I could have sworn something coming up here pretty soon, doesn't she?
I remember her being announced for something.
Maybe I was just thinking of the Marvels that came out last year. Oh no. I think she's directing the 28 Days Later. Not the newest one that's coming out, the part 3, but
the next one.
Yeah, the part 4, that's technically the part 2.
I've gone cross-eyed.
I'm looking at the title right now. Apparently they do have a subtitle on it. It's 28 Years Later, part 2, The Bone Temple.
That sounds like a direct-to-video movie. Don't name it that.
It does. So it's the 4th installment in the series, and it's being directed by Nia DaCosta. But the screenplay is still by Alex Garland and Danny Boyle.
Fair enough.
I hope they just film these all in a row, because I'm always nervous we're never going to get like our parts 2 or 3, and then they just leave you hanging.
Not everything can be the new Strangers.
Yeah, or do it like how the Strangers Chapter 1 should have done, and not film at all. I think that would have been a really good idea. That would have been an interesting, creative way to present the story, is if they didn't film anything and we just never talked about it ever.
Could have been an option. Good news though, according to Wikipedia, principal of photography for part 4 part 2 of the 28 Years Later franchise began filming August 19th, so it is underway. We are in fact going to get this no matter what. That's cool. I like that. I like 28 Days Later, the franchise. I'm very curious to see what they do with it.
I'm sorry, I'm very overtaken by whatever this performance is.
I love that this movie just seems to be a sequence of Tony Todd being confronted by various women who look like amateur porn stars.
And now he's making out.
The Toddster getting lucky.
Oh, and now he's killing her. What a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh no, he's the bad guy? Oh no, she's alive.
Is he big?
Is he big? Imagine having the caliber
off with
of
her
actor.
hands around her throat.
Yeah, imagine having the caliber of act. Everybody's fucking bald. Everybody's from the future. They're all precogs.
There's a bald guy in the background, a bald guy in the foreground. It's great. This is the baldest movie I might have ever seen.
Imagine getting the caliber of actor. Yes. Sleep now. Imagine getting the caliber of actor of Tony Todd and then like having him play against what appears to be a softcore porn actress.
Is this guy bald too? Is Riley bald? Door slam.
Anybody
Riley
who's wearing hair
no
it's a toupee.
Maybe that's how we can.
Riley.
This is how we tell who the killer is. Anyone with hair is a suspect because they're not part of the norm.
ACAB.
I heard a card that was so cod. It makes me think this is actually Boston.
Or actually on Little Tall Island from that Stephen King miniseries, Storm of the Century.
Ah. So I always feel bad deep down when we pick these little low-budget, no-budget movies and then just kind of rip on them the whole time. Like,
Oh, that
at least,
woman has no face.
God.
Oh, no face, girl! She's gone. At least, like, the Mystery Science Theater guys can make them very funny, and they don't necessarily feel like they're talking down to the movie the whole time. But here we are. I'm just laughing at the number of bald people in this thing, just thinking what happened.
Look,
I always have affection for the movies we riff on.
I love Jacko. I love Jacko.
I love
Gallows Hill, by the way.
Can we please do commentary for the Jacko commentary, where the director gets into a big fight with everybody?
Okay, so we're back to the Twin Peaks woods. There's
Where
Jack
are
Rabbit
we?
Palace. Oh, we got a dead person in a tree.
Who has no face?
No face, McGee.
Or, oh, you know what? She put her face down in a Raspberry Pi. Once again, jam.
Oh, she's alive. Oh, it's a dream.
No, he's in a time loop.
This is a frustrating thing with these effects. Like, there's a thin line between, ooh, that's really creepy, a woman with no face but still has her teeth and she can open her eyes and laugh at you, and not having the bunny for it to look like anything other than we just slapped a lot of red dye on a person's face.
It's bloody face.
And we are officially in the half-naked woman wandering around the director's house.
I'm trying to think if Bloody Face is an actual movie killer. I feel like that's
from
American Horror Story.
Yeah,
okay.
Bloody Face.
It's not creative, so it's a Ryan Murphy name.
Correct.
I was talking to a friend about that, and he was suggesting American Horror Story seasons, and he kept saying the same thing, like, yeah, the first half's really good, but then it falls apart. And he was like, okay, well, what other ones did you like? Well, this one's really good. And then it falls apart in the second half. It became one of those like, hey, Sean, maybe we shouldn't be watching these. If like we know there's 8 episodes and only 4 of them are going to be entertaining. Maybe it's a mistake to commit the time.
I will say
Asylum
Murder
is
House
good halfway
is
through.
entertainingly bad all the way through.
That's true, yes. Murder House. I would love for us to do a bop on every episode of Murder
yes.
House. That would be delightful.
You could. Murder House actually has some
one of
like
my favorite bad TV shows ever. It's a disaster piece.
I would argue there's some like legit good moments in there.
Good
like,
ideas in there.
Yeah, there's
the
great
worst
ideas in
execution
there.
ever.
I think there's a couple of spots where it all works pretty well, and it's actually kind of disturbing. Like, I guess spoilers to people who haven't seen the first season of American Horror Story. But when they find the daughter has actually died in the house several episodes previously, and she
That's a
discovers her
very
own
good
corpse,
twist.
Yeah,
that's a
great.
great. That one works wonderfully. Like, it's very disturbing to me. That played so well because I didn't expect them to actually go that way.
It would be awesome if I cared about that character and didn't want to light her on fire.
Well, you can't have the world. Hey, Players Sports Bar. I have a Players Sports Bar directly across from my house. They have some of the best burgers in town. They don't look
Can I
anything
ask
like this
why
bar.
they were on green screen when they were playing pool?
Or why we went into that woman. We keep going into this woman's tits and ass for transitions.
That's an interesting zoom, yeah.
Look, so far, pumpkin hole this ain't.
I have seen no pumpkins.
I swear to God, if Mr. Begg isn't wearing a pumpkin mask, and we didn't watch the fucking Hallmark movie,
We legally can sue Tubi for this. It's jeopardizing our business.
The only problem is they get back to you and say, "Oh, we'll give you your money back, all $0 of it."
God damn it! It's the perfect crime.
That's they know they can keep getting away with it.
what is this?
A fight on the dance floor. Hey, that bouncer stole all the hair in the city.
Just a super villain with every hair that's missing stacked up on top of each other, so he looks like Legion on his throne.
Oh, thank God he's got the mask.
Oh, there we go. There's our pumpkin.
He heard you.
Okay, we got a big-ass pumpkin.
Big ass
Yay!
pumpkin. Big ass
Big ass
pumpkin.
pumpkin. Big ass pumpkin day.
Pumpkin day.
Big
Big
ass,
ass.
big ass.
Big ass pumpkin day. Oh,
Okay,
do
for
we
a
have
second,
gay
because of the
couple, or is
hat,
this just
I thought this-
androgynous?
I thought this was somebody making out with their own mirror reflection for a second.
Which would have been a fun twist. In the Twin Peaks woods, people are just making out with doppelgangers of themselves.
Hey, that's not a gay couple. They're just dressed like it's the 1930s.
I don't understand. Why are they newsies?
Let's do the time warp again.
What is this?
This one more Riot Fest story. I left during Fall Out Boy's set because I just don't care about Fall Out Boy. But every person that was working every person who was working one of the stands, like selling beer or whatever, was very clearly upset they were not in the Fall Out Boy stands. Like they're all singing along to all the lyrics and everything. So I'm just walking past these people just longing for Fall Out Boy. I turn a corner and I start walking to another stage where NoFX is going to be playing. And the sound stops. Like basically as you cut the corner, you can't hear Fall Out Boy anymore. And they start playing the intro music for NoFX, which was just several songs from Rocky Horror Picture Show before they came out. It was much more my speed because I walked up for a beer and the bartender was too busy to serve me because they were just screaming out the lyrics to "Let's Do the Time Warp Again." And I'm like, no, do you. I'm not going to rush you. Let it out. And then give me my overpriced tall boy.
Speaking of, you got fucking bamboozled by Polaris on this trip.
Oh, I was so upset. I really thought it was going to be the Adventures of Pete and Pete Polaris. And I probably should have known better because they had like a 3 p.m. slot, so really early in the afternoon. But in my defense, the Buzzcocks had like that same slot, and they're famous. And
I just like that there are 2 Polarises.
Yeah, you can find them both on Spotify. One is much more like hard rock. Not my thing. I was all ready to have my nostalgia amped up, and the Pete's to party with me, and there was nothing. It was just a rock band.
You still should have stayed there and called out for "Hey Sandy" at the end.
Waiting for October! Waiting for... And they just forcibly drag me off. War beats the shit out of me. To go back to TV shows for 1 minute here, I would like to talk about one that feels like it's on the opposite side of American Horror Story, where each season is pretty satisfying. And that's Chucky, the series. I'm 30 minutes away from finishing season 3 right now. So we'll see how they pull it all together in those last 30 minutes. But boy, that show, it feels like it's all over the place, but still coherent. It's an interesting mix. Like it takes all the Chucky slasher stuff we're used to, gives us some big, nasty, gnarly kills, but it also feels like it's trying to be a teen-friendly kind of horror show at the same time. So it's like for adults, but also aimed for children.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to watch that yet, but I've seen a lot of clips, and it seems to have captured the right formula for that kind of horror show that a lot of people have been trying to find for a really long time now.
They get kind of wacky campy with it too, so it honors, like Seed of Chucky and all those kind of things.
Everything is canon, that's what I fucking love about it.
Oh, yes, no, it definitely goes back to every entry in the movie series and is like, yes, let's re-meet
so
some of our
much
characters
Jennifer Tilly
from
lore.
1 or 2. A lot of Jennifer Tilly. So if you're into Chucky, it's pretty cool that you just got 3 seasons worth of television to really just expand on everything in that canon.
I like that Chucky is the character that gets to make it to House of Reanimator territory and not Herbert West.
It's also fun because you get Brad Dourif out there, and they occasionally have him do stuff where he's not just the voice of Chucky, like he's just acting in the show. So that's fun. You have his daughter playing like flashback versions of Brad Dourif too. So
Fiona Dourif as Charles Lee Ray is one of the eeriest performances I've ever seen.
Right, it's like an Uncanny Valley thing where it's like, I know this isn't a computer generated thing. It's not a wig makeup. This just feels weird.
The closest thing I can compare it to is the episode of Orange is the New Black where they got Laverne Cox's twin brother to play her before transition.
Yeah, it's wild. And also, Fiona Dourif plays her character from the movie series as well. So she's in it multiple times. It's wild how they're like, no, people can be in the cast multiple times. It doesn't matter. We're not going to be sticklers about that.
Chucky stands up for queer rights. It's awesome.
He does, yeah. This is a big point. He's like, I'm not a monster. Devon Sawa plays like 8 different characters throughout the first 3 seasons. And they don't even like try to disguise him. Like they put him basically just in a different costume each time. That's good enough. Like this time it's a suit. This time it's a mechanic's overalls. There you go. He's back. Different guy. It's shameless, but you don't even care. You know it's coming, so it's just good.
Always a cousin of himself.
No, sometimes totally unrelated. I think he plays a priest in season 2, if I'm remembering right. In 3, he's the president.
Distant cousins.
Oh, one thing I will spoil about that show, just because of how fucking amazing this is to me in light of like what we talked about in our commentaries. I love that Don Mancini has had such a character arc with the voodoo aspect of Chucky that he's gone from deeply resenting it to writing a dialogue for Damballa.
Oh, Damballa is a central piece of season 3. Light spoilers for the season. Chucky is basically forsaken by Damballa and has to get back on the god's good side. So that's like the thrust of the whole season. Chucky just trying to make good with like a voodoo god of evil.
Mike. Damballa tells Chucky there's no more love in his violence. I wanted the second Zed watched that clip, I wanted to stop it and just immediately text.
I'm so happy.
So, folks, if you're looking for a TV show to get into this October, I would really recommend Chucky. Again, I haven't seen the last 30 minutes of season 3, so maybe I'll just be very pissed off here, but so far, so good. I want to comment in the previous scene. This is the darkest police precinct I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was about to say, why is there just no light bulbs anywhere?
In the previous scene, though, I really love that they just had teamwork underlined 3 times on a whiteboard. Nothing else, just teamwork. We need it.
Now be ball.
Is this like the Springfield Police Department? Like we're not gonna survive out there unless we work together as a team. Damn it!
I'm sorry, but this lanky guy, it doesn't feel like that's his actual body, but the lens is making him look that way. It's so weird.
He's been Laffy Taffy.
He looks like Abe Sapien.
Be nice to Doug Jones. I'm stunned, 1, that we're 32 minutes into this movie already. 33 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
2, that there's an hour 13 left of this, and there's been 1 kill?
2. There's been 2 kills.
Okay.
3 if you count a dream.
I do not. I never count dream kills.
And there has been 2. Why are
you
they
disregard the entire first 30 minutes of Halloween 2?
This is a very Tubi movie. I say that in the nicest way possible. We should do a series like It Came from Tubi.
You could. I mean, they do have 1,000 different movies to pull from.
And we call it To Be Fair.
Ooh.
I like it.
Ooh. Do you think it's illegal to make a movie in Salem or about Salem and not do it on the witches?
I would like a movie to have the balls to have a movie that takes place in Salem, says Salem every other fucking word, doesn't bring up witches once.
It's about
werewolves.
I was going to say, it should be a switcheroo. You think it's about witches the whole time. Aliens. 3rd act, you've got grays all over the place. I mean, I get it. If you're making a movie in Salem, it's going to be witches. Everyone expects witches. That's why you're setting it in Salem. But it also seems outplayed at this point. Everyone already knows it's going to be something witch-related. I guess in this case, they are trying to do that, right? It's a slasher film. It's just set in Witch County.
Nate, how many really good, legitimately terrifying witch movies are there?
We're counting the Blair Witch films, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
There's The Witch.
The Witch.
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Autopsy of Jane Doe. Spoilers for people that haven't seen the Autopsy of Jane Doe. There's a couple other ones out there. I guess Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost again. For the right young crowd, that one can be a little scary.
Is
Snow
Black
White,
Sabbath
A Tale
count?
of Terror.
Or is Black Sabbath more of like a
That's witchy.
It's witchy. It's hard because you could go either vampire or witch with it.
I think witch before I think vampire.
So do I. I'm gonna go with witch.
What other one? Obviously, not totally scary. Again, maybe to the right young crowd, but Hocus Pocus. I mean, that's a pretty quality witch one. Same with Paranorman. I think Paranorman probably gets a little more intense during its climax than...
That's an anti-witch movie, though. Like, there is no actual witch.
I mean, there's a little girl with magical powers.
Yes, but that's only because she was accused of being a witch.
Did they accuse her of being a witch because she had magic powers?
No.
I feel like she just, didn't murder
It was a very Autopsy of Jane Doe thing, honestly.
What else is there?
Also, this story is still going on, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this scene just goes on forever, apparently.
Yeah.
We would have learned so much about Angela by now if this were a sleepaway camp movie.
Gretel and Hansel. I like that one. I wouldn't say it's necessarily...
That's a great pull, yeah.
Not necessarily frightening, but I love... Visually, it's fantastic. You're not
it's very unsettling, Gretel and Hansel. Like, it just,
yeah.
It's really off-kilter.
Plus, Alice Krieg is it's just fascinating to watch. The witches in Macbeth, the Coen brothers version too. I think she also plays the witch there. The three weird sisters. Again, a phenomenal performance. That movie is so good, and it's a shame it's on an Apple TV exclusive, so no one will ever talk about it or see it.
It's okay. That was just a sound effect being played over the film.
Jesus, screech owls, witches.
They're the same
camps.
thing, right? Meanwhile, why are we getting establishing shot title cards now halfway through the fucking movie?
Hell of an establishing shot too.
I mean, you could do something. You could get away with that in a 70s horror movie. I think when they're at a little slower pace, you could just be like, "And now we're at this house where the murders will happen." Not Jim Guy.
Oh God! Speaking of establishing shots, Zed and I were fucking rolling a few weeks ago because we were watching
What the fuck?
Oh no! All the hot girls want the hot tub. The saxophone too. The saxophone in the score really sells it.
The tiki torch. Jesus Christ!
Did we stumble into a softcore porn?
I think so.
I don't think we've ever
left
up
this
out
house.
of the pot tub and start stabbing them.
Oh, my horny is murderous.
I mean, that is the plot of a lot of summer slashers.
That's true.
Say cheese with my world's shittiest smartphone camera.
What the hell was with the weird flip phone? Also, why did
it's 2011?
You could have
that's
had
what you
sex
had.
with 3 women and you instead chose to get out and take a picture?
Pictures last forever.
Okay, he was not having any of this.
Oh no! At least he went out on top of the world.
And then he just walks away. Did he just... Wait, okay, let me just get this straight. So he was about to have a foursome.
Yep.
But instead he took a picture and then left to walk into the woods to have a phone call with somebody to tell them about the fact he was about to have a foursome.
Yeah, I think he was bragging about the almost foursome. Or maybe it was supposed to be implied he had the foursome, and this is sometime later.
He was calling the police. Get all these hot women out of here.
Don't you know it's dangerous? There's a pumpkin-headed man murdering people in these woods.
Goes against my Mormonism.
A few weeks ago, my partner and I were watching a movie on Tubi of roughly this aesthetic, where the director kept using as his establishing shot for the main location a dumpster outside the building. Just the exact same static shot of the dumpster outside the warehouse the movie took place in.
Oh, sorry. We actually had like a good kill gag with the machete stuck in the head.
That was a good one.
Yeah, simple but effective.
Wait, I thought that was a tea kettle going off?
I thought it was a harmonica.
It's so weird. You gotta let that steep.
Nah.
Did they just take pictures of the three of them, like at the Polaroid, and then just throw them in the background to make it look like they lived there?
Production value. I like
it
how we
pretty
did
daylight in there.
We're really changing tracks though, because it just went from like sleazy, almost summer camp slasher because we had that long campfire tale and the murder in the hot tub. And now it's switching over to like co-ed killer style, where this girl's, I have to stay at home and study for a biology exam.
In the most un-sorority house looking sorority house I've ever seen.
This is just some house she's renting. This is not a sorority.
It
very
said
much
Delta
looks like
House.
a house you eat.
It's true,
like
it says Delta House, but they can't make me
Thanksgiving
believe it. Yeah, that's such a good way to phrase this place.
I think this is the house from Resident Evil 7.
Looks a little smaller. Oddly enough, though, I do really like these insert shots of her locking and closing the door. Like, the close-ups on her hand, they almost feel like something out of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like the intro credits. Dun! It makes
So
you...
does she not see that, like, sitting right there?
Big. It's inked. No. That really bad jump scare sting really does make you appreciate how good John Carpenter was at that same trick. It's easy to say it's cheap because it's just playing scary music when, like, a mysterious person walks past the frame. But his would actually get you to jump. Like when it happens in The Thing, when Fuchs is by himself and the power goes out, and you get that sting of the Thing walking by the screen. That's effective. Like, it actually kind of gets you. Makes you jump. This one tried to do the same thing, but, like, 5 times worse, and it didn't have any impact whatsoever.
This movie's making me tired of asses.
I was about to say, this is our second shower butt so far. We're getting one each act.
I'm sorry, I hear Mike say this movie makes me tired of asses, and I just immediately hear Johnny Cash like, I hurt myself today. See if I still feel. Like, just the saddest thing you've ever heard a man say in his life. This movie made me tired of asses. I'm hanging it up. The rodeo's over. Anarchy!
Hey, it's where I sleep.
What is that nightstand? Is that just a porcelain monkey with a hole in its head? Is it wearing a tie? Is this Donkey Kong?
Why is there just like a teddy bear hanging from the ceiling?
Because she's dark,
edgy.
Mike.
Say like I've never dated a chick like this. Oh yeah, linger on that shot.
That's actually a cigarette. She's just choosing to smoke it like a joint to look cool to herself.
Yeah, she rolled it like a cowboy. I'm glad she's able to have fun by herself.
Remember, this was the 2011. It was before we had the internet to entertain us. Oh, it's just an ashtray on top of what appears to be a porcelain monkey? The resolution's not good enough in my copy to tell what this thing is.
It appears to be a porcelain monkey. You should own that monkey. It's very.
I am kind of fascinated by it.
No, don't leave the room because I want to see more. Okay, thankfully we're still seeing the monkey.
Ominous music. Oh no! That guy just walked into her room.
And she's very nonplussed about it.
He just found a goth chick to kill.
Why did we cut to the lamp for a second? Like, there was just one shot of the lamp for no reason.
So we spent a lot of time with this goth chick for like, just for that.
Instantly down.
This pans
makes him look very
John.
shocked.
This pans over to John Malkovich as F.W. Murnau. So Have I established pathos?
Do you think we're gonna get more Tony Todd anytime soon?
No.
But he loved her.
So we're gonna find out at the end Tony Todd's behind the mask? Is that how they're justifying that character getting so much screen time?
Where does Michael Berryman come in?
At this point, the killer better be PJ Souls.
Uh-oh, Trash is putting her clothes on again.
God, this is a cramped fucking room. Lady, get a smaller bed.
Oh no!
Are we just cutting the corpses
squelches.
we've already seen just to remind us that, yes, he has killed people in this movie?
Yep. This guy is stealthier than Hitman 47. Like, he has just aced most of this house, and the girl on the couch has not even noticed what's going on.
She still has not noticed the fucking thing that says beg sitting on the...
Yeah.
He must be so disappointed. Like, no, you were supposed to see that.
This is why we need more Leslie Vernon, because that would definitely be a part of one of those where he's just leaving notes up and people are ignoring them.
I'm also fascinated the sorority house hung an American flag outside.
Yeah, why not?
So, Mike, I'm just imagining this killer, Beggy, I'm going to call him from now on, just having to be like that one Everyman Hybrid video where they had to come out of the woods and tell people, you're supposed to open this thing.
Can we get those guys on Bop?
I feel like Evan would like the show. He'd vibe with us. He'd wear the hat.
Yes.
It was very wonderful watching that Slenderverse documentary that came out a couple of months ago, and seeing him show up with the death-proof hat and acknowledge, "Yep, I still got the hat."
I still gotta watch that doc. I keep forgetting about it.
Oh, it's so good. They go into so much. They go into so much detail. You get extended reactions to how the community dealt with the Beware the Slender Man documentary. There is extended talk about why the Slenderverse is so very, very gay for no reason. That's a phenomenon. That's a phenomenon people will be studying on the internet for years. Why did so many people discover their gender identities through Slender Man TV shows?
As a very casual Slender Man knower, I did not realize that was part of the Slender Man experience.
Oh, yeah.
You learn something every day.
Cryptids in general have a huge following in the queer community, so creepypasta stuff in general, like, there's a huge overlap there. For whatever reason, both the people who made Slenderverse shows and their fan base, like, there ended up being a lot of overlap between, like, specifically, like, trans and non-binary people. And that including, like, one of the biggest creators of a Slender Man show ended up transitioning, like, halfway through after listening to people, like, constantly telling her, "Your show helped me discover myself somehow."
See,
and nobody knows why. It's just a thing that happened.
All right. Yeah, I always thought it was just like the Babadook joke where, like, the Babadook became a gay icon for no reason.
It has to be kind of a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like the train starts moving so that it just becomes gravity.
Why does every trans girl play Fallout New Vegas? We just do. Also, I'm sorry. This was... in testing this movie, I took a screen cap of specifically this shot and showed it to the guys. Like, this is what we're in for. The most dimly lit high school you've ever seen.
This is like the world of Pulse.
I can't see shit in this movie. It really bums me out. Okay,
and now he has a
Bag.
chainsaw.
Ho,
Bigster,
ho, ho.
come on.
This is one thing I did appreciate about the huge wave of found footage movies. Even if you couldn't really light a scene amazingly, it was expected because people were filming it on shitty cameras, so it just adds to the atmosphere. When you're trying to make a traditional horror movie and nothing is lit, you either wonder, like, did we accidentally wander into the set of Alien vs. Predator Requiem, or did they just not have 5 cents to buy, like, a floodlight? Like, just go to your dad's garage and steal one of the lights he uses when he's working on his cars. It will help so much.
At a certain point, just use the regular lights that are in the room, because at least that's something. It won't look good, but it will look better than darkness.
Which way are we going here? Would it be better to accidentally harshly overlight everything so it looks very cheap, or underlight everything so we assume it's cheap?
Always go with overlighting over underlighting, I feel. Overlighting at least can be a style. Underlighting just makes it look like you're fucking afraid to show people your movie.
Yeah.
Also just depressing to look at.
That's how I feel about pretty much every modern movie when they do a nighttime scene. I really miss when it used to just be implied darkness and then everything was basically lit fine. Now it's like, no, it's actually pitch black. The actors are blind. And it's so,
I like a good balance.
So
like, I don't like it when it's every movie, but I do like a good, like, actually pitch black dark
scene. If it's
scene.
horror and you're like you need absolute blackness, like in a Conjuring movie or something, that's one thing. When I'm watching an action scene, it's like the fucking opening of Thor. I get pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, some animator didn't see his kid's karate tournament to animate the scene. You're gonna throw a bunch of artificial shadow over it for verisimilitude. Fuck you.
I know the DP for Game of Thrones got pissy about everyone complaining that no one could see anything in the big climatic, Battle of Winterfell scene. But also, that was some bullshit that after, 10 years of watching the show, we get to a gigantic climactic battle and no one could tell what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. Still the craziest thing is it looked perfectly fine for me.
I've never...
I don't know if it was the
I even had it on
using.
Blu-ray and I was watching it. I'm like, this still is dark as fuck. The only time I've been able to enjoy it is if I'm watching on TV and I just start fucking with the settings to really crank up contrast.
Honestly, picture is becoming a lot like sound mixing in movies where they're kind of just leaving it up to you to figure it out for your particular television.
Sound mixing is terrible these days.
Yeah.
Sound mixing is really fucking bad.
Also, the blue lights just reflecting off that dude's bald head is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
The dome!
Beautiful. Like we found out recently that Chris Nolan is like, oh yeah, I don't do ADR. Like, oh, this explains everything.
Yeah. I've always wondered if Chris Nolan was just a little deaf, and that's how, a lot of this just slips by him. Like, he can't tell the difference, so he thinks it's good.
So, you know who else does an ADR? Ron Howard. It's like when you realize Scorsese doesn't give a shit about continuity, you just start noticing it everywhere.
Ron Howard also at least doesn't make loud shit.
He's done a race car movie.
Yeah, but still, it was mostly I would still not constitute that as loud.
But Rush has moments where the sound design is pretty important to the experience of having a panic attack inside of your race car.
Yeah. But to me, then that adds to it to a degree. Nolan just does loud talking scenes that then you can't hear.
Yeah. I mean,
so much of Bane suddenly made sense. That's literally just what he sounded like on set.
I get there's
except for the one time you super
folks.
ADR'd him from the beginning.
Yeah, I understand. Everyone's gonna have different philosophies when making movies, but I still scratch my head whenever Nolan tries to justify any of his sound choices because they never quite make sense to me when he explains it.
No, his sound choices in Dunkirk are puzzling. I love that movie, but I just accept that I will not hear dialogue in it.
I think this must be what it's like if you're a big fan of J.J. Abrams and you just have to live with the lens flares. No, it's whatever. It's not necessary, yes, but it's fine.
I will forever maintain the lens flares in the first Star Trek are an interesting stylistic choice. The lens bursts, on the other hand, are what is absolutely obnoxious in that movie.
Yeah. I think it's the abundance of them. You can whip that tool out a couple of times and sell your point, but with the number it happens, it almost feels like he's kind of making a joke about it, especially like in later ones where he come back to that filming idea.
Well, it didn't help that everyone aped that, so we just, for like 5 years straight, every movie had to have the camera rotating over a character's shoulder, and then the sun burst into the camera. Which, again, so much discourse about Star Trek could have been simplified if more people just knew the difference between a lens flare and a lens burst, because so many people were talking past each other in that conversation for that reason.
That's fair.
Also, I like the Giallo killer here.
Ah.
It's unrelated to
driving with the mask on, by the way, in broad daylight.
If I can go back to complaining things that like stopped being interesting to complain about a decade and a half ago, to a similar degree, the amount of aping of Bourne Identity film style, like everyone wanted to make it the same way Greengrass did, where you just have that ultra shaky cam for action, which worked really well in the Bourne Identity movies. And then by like Bourne 3, it was already starting to feel a little bit too cliche, and everyone else was just doing it poorly.
We got the combination of the shaky cam fights and robot fighting, which is in the Bourne movies for a specific reason, and then everyone just aped that fighting style.
Yeah. As soon as we saw Bond doing it, we knew something was going wrong.
Drinking game, every time you see someone putting on their costume, you got to drink.
You'd be dead by now.
You'd be dead, and then you wouldn't have to watch the remaining... Oh, no, there's still 50 minutes
Don't keep reminding me how much more of this movie is fucking left. At least it takes place on Halloween at some point, I guess.
I think there's a man wearing a bag on his head to the left, so... I see some kind of corn things. There's a guy dressed up, I believe, as Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2.
That's just Jason. You just hanging out.
Oh, there we go. We've got
don't
Bob
remind
Ghost.
people of other movies.
Of better movies. Sorry, all you Beg fans out there.
Oh, God, there's so much Tito's in that thing. Oh, Jesus, that thing is just alcohol. There's no punch in there.
Well, he couldn't see. There's no eye holes in that ghost get-up.
This is a date rape party, isn't it?
What do we... I think we have a pimp at one end of the table. There's a guy that's, I think, just a beer bong. No, he's a keg. He's a keg. My mistake.
Is that you, Cody?
Cheerleader. I've never done the bong costume or the beard keg costume. I like this one.
He actually dispenses
has beer.
That's really neat.
Yeah, that'd be a fun costume for a party. There's a little pumpkin inside that pumpkin.
That's cool. She's not wearing a costume at all. That was interesting.
Okay, we got a...
And back to fucking. Okay, so...
There's a pumpkin in the room, though. Hey, pumpkins!
Didn't we see her die earlier?
The women are all just identical in this movie.
I don't understand. Why does everyone look so fucking bored?
Oh, Keg Guy already gave him his costume and drunkenly stumbled out of frame. Oh, he's back in the frame.
Why is the outdoor party... Why is the outdoor party lit so well? The madness on this chick's face.
Pucker up.
No, he has a practical costume.
I like their mugs. Did he start laughing at his own joke before it cut away?
I think so.
Okay.
I like
it would have taken them too long to dry him off, so they really had to just stick with that take.
I like the static shock of that girl just staring at the ceiling, wondering about her life choices.
Briefly turns into Daria for a moment.
Do you ever just, like, when watching a movie like this, do you just think of, like, the cast members of this movie are somewhere out there right now? Like, they existed previously. Like, they went on their lives after filming this. Like, they're people who do and make decisions.
Oh, God. I love hearing interviews from actors who do movies like this, where they're just like, yeah, we just got the script on the day, and we all just kind of sighed and said, well, we'll be done by the end of the week.
She had her shirt on for 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
I feel like today you also have the added fact of occasionally looking at scripts and wondering, okay, is this Chat GPT?
Oh,
Hearing
no,
that
he's
from a
throwing
lot
up
of
in the
people who do
pumpkin.
weird TikTok content now.
A lot of TikTok content. At this point, considering some of the shit I have seen in my life, I almost feel like it would do a better job. Because what is this?
I see stuff like this, and I really think, though, it's, filmmaker's first movie, maybe, or one of his earlier ones, so he's still learning on the go. It might just be intended for a smaller audience, like, hey, I'm making something to basically entertain my friends. It might be made by his friends, so, like, the fact that people like us are watching this a decade sometime after it came out was not intended. I give him a lot of benefit of the doubt.
I try. I do not like to overly dunk, but I do think there is this magical quality whenever you're watching a movie from someone who appears to be from another planet.
That's how you get things like Samurai Cop.
Yeah, Samurai Cop, Troll 2, The Room, all of the classics is just like people who, like, how movies work because you're making one. So you must have watched them at some point. Or just, how people talk and interact because you're a person on this planet, right? No, you're a fry cook on Venus.
I think we undervalue how hard it is to act in these things, or how hard it is to write dialogue that sounds like a human would say it.
There is an absolute art. Seriously, this is like 50% of the conversations my partner and I have watching movies, because we watch a lot of movies of this style, just like zero budget, like Tubi slashers. Movies like this are insanely watchable whenever you're doing other shit. And we picked up, there is a very specific art to being a victim in a crappy slasher movie, particularly being the designated bimbo of one of these movies. Like, I feel like there should be, like, in the same way that there's, like, schools for Elvis impersonators, there should be, like, a finishing school for bimbo actresses. Because when you see someone doing a really bad job of being the dumb hot girl who dies in the third act, you notice. It's in the same way that, like, actors like Christopher Walken and Malcolm McDowell have found an art form in taking the worst material in the world and giving it gravitas. I think there's definitely an unsung skill in taking the absolute gibberish people in movies like these have to say and not making the dialogue sing, but making it entertainingly bad and entertainingly campy instead of just making you want to stab your ears out.
And now for some of that shining dialogue.
I will say, I don't think this movie knows how a main character works. Because I keep forgetting this dude is our main character.
He'll pop out of the movie for like 20 minutes while Mr. Begg is just murdering people. Which I guess is kind of like a slasher staple. But normally, the main character isn't the cop who is not actually on the trail of the murders.
He's fishing. I don't understand.
Potential victim. Again, he's trying to decide if he wants to be retired or not.
This young guy here looks like a guest star for VIP. Remember that show? That was a thing. Remember UPN?
I do remember UPN.
For the days. Miss UPN.
I don't particularly miss UPN that much, but if it makes you happy, that's good enough.
I miss the UPN Saturday movie.
I really miss the Sci-Fi Channel original movies from like every Friday night.
That was a time.
That was a wonderful stretch. I mean, those are movies that are bad enough to be fun. They knew what they had to do. They got in, they got out. They're just long enough so they got their commercials into place and everyone was happy.
The period before like those movies got to like Sharktopus and shit like that, where they were too try hard at that point. But before that, oh, so good. That's when we got the fucking like Man Thing movie. That was one of those.
I still go to bat, even though I saw it like once when I was a younger man. Chupacabra, Dark Seas. That was like the right level of stupid camp for me, where I'm like, yes, I'm having fun, and I know this is not like capital C cinema, but it doesn't matter.
I still remember the winner of the first season of Who Wants to Be a Superhero.
Oh, shit.
Because remember, he was supposed to get like his own movie. Of course, the entire show was scripted anyway, but the only thing they gave him, though, was he died at the very beginning of like a giant anaconda movie or something like that. And he's just like eaten in one of the first scenes. Like he's doing like he is his superhero character. So a superhero just exists in that universe with superpowers. Yeah. And he's just eaten by like a giant snake or something.
God, I love that they wrote themselves into the corner of having to give feedback. His own movie, the dude whose power was going inside of video games. It's a fake show. You did that to yourself.
You did this.
I just miss the era of channels being all gung-ho about making their own original movies that were
their own brand.
Probably going to be bad, but you got a new one like either every month or every week, so it was just appointment viewing. Disney Channel did this for years, and it was very exciting to me growing up, especially when it'd be the Halloween ones. So you get like Halloween Town 3, or you would get Don't Look Under the Bed. Yeah, Phantom of the Megaplex. I wish it's one of my biggest dreams that Disney would just put all those out on a DVD collector set. So you just got like 10 of those movies slapped together. They don't have to have special features. I just want them.
It's still wild. I can just like stream those. I can stream those now, despite the fact they were like so fucking hard to find.
Yeah,
like I'm having a bootleg Don't Look Under the Bed. Now it's like I can just watch it at any point.
Is that one actually on Disney right now? I thought like they were taking it on and taking it off. It kind of bounced around.
No, it's on there.
Nice. If I remember correctly, the only Disney Channel original movie that was not added to Disney Plus was the original Under Wraps, to not override the Under Wraps remake they were doing for some reason. Like that's where they were fucking bat embargo about it. But we can't have two Under Wraps on the books.
It would get confusing.
I think they've since put it on there because no one cared about the Under Wraps remake. That was just Under Wraps.
The Under Wraps remake got a sequel, so apparently someone cared about it.
Oh, it did?
Jesus. It did.
Soccer Mummy
back to
from
Tony
Simpsons
Todd.
was better.
Dude, miss Soccer Monkey. Mummy.
I'm just happy that Up and Away is on Disney Plus, meaning Disney isn't burying it anymore, so that people don't know that there was something before Sky High. You know, that $1 million franchise.
Mr. Boogedy's on there.
Oh, weird.
And Bride of Boogedy.
Disney put Mr. Boogedy and Bride of Boogedy out on DVDs. I bought those through the Disney movie club. They are almost unwatchable because they did absolutely nothing to clean them up and they're on DVDs. The resolution isn't there. They look like they taped them off of Disney Channel and just put them onto a disc.
There's no way they kept the originals of that, right?
Oh, I can't believe
because why the fuck would
masters of it? That'd be fascinating if they did. They could make like a Mr. Boogedy Blu-ray or something. Anyways, I have such a fondness for those movies, and it's a shame more of them aren't available. Tower of Terror, that actually got like a DVD release, and you'll see that in Target almost every year. So I think that one has a little bit more cultural awareness than most of the others. Same with Halloween Town. I think all of those have been put out on DVD.
Yeah, they still market Halloween Town up the ass.
I wonder how much money Halloween Town brings in to this day.
They had a fucking show. Like, that had to be like a juggernaut at some point.
Yeah, I always wonder that, though, because it was obviously big when it came out, but it's been so many years, and now it's just like a nostalgia thing for us. Like, kids probably don't care about Halloween Town, do they? But I wonder, because like they keep putting the DVDs out, so they must be selling.
There has to be a lot of parents who still show those to their kids.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand why that doesn't play on, like, Freeform. Freeform will play, like, the same 8 movies, but doesn't get, like, any of those to play.
Sorry, I'm stuck on the list of Sci-Fi Channel original movies.
All great titles.
To Lava, to Lantula. The sequel to Lava Lantula. Oh, we've got more strippers.
Solve a murder!
Holy shit. Okay, so there's Two-Headed Shark Attack, and I was aware they made a sequel, Three-Headed Shark Attack. They skipped Four-Headed Shark Attack and went to Five-Headed Shark Attack. And then there was a Six-Headed Shark Attack. Apparently, there's no information on Wikipedia about this movie other than it exists. It's on the list of movies that were made, but there's no, like, subpage to explain it.
But they can make a prequel now.
One-Headed Shark Attack?
Yeah.
So many of these, this is a bummer, so many of these don't have, like, actual pages. So I'm assuming they're either, like, lost to time or... boy, someone's got, like, a DVD copy somewhere that went out of print 15 years ago. And that's the only way you'll ever see Airplane versus Volcano.
I'm going to be honest. I think the Volcano's going to win.
Yeah, you know, if I'm picking sides.
Well, they fucking Randy Quaid and Independence Day. I'm back.
Just clogs the whole thing. I mean, there's a lot of shit in here. I will say Two-Headed Shark Attack was very fun to watch. A lot of those shark movies were entertaining.
Mega Piranha was delightful.
Yeah. And then there's some in here that are actually surprisingly, like, real movies. Abominable. Remember that one? With Lance Henriksen, I think Henry Combs, or Jeffrey Combs. Why was I thinking Henry Combs? Jeffrey Combs. The really, really good Abominable Snowman practical costume.
And I think that's what was cool about the sci-fi movies when they first started, before they went into just pure the same fucking thing over and over again.
Yeah, they made a lot of, like, animal attack movies where it became very samey.
Yeah, and they were all, like, made to be, like, purposely... When it was fun where you never knew week to week whether or not you were going to get, like, a schlocky piece of crap that was really fun or a legitimately interesting movie.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, Mansquito was not trying to be bad.
Chupacabra versus the Alamo. Too. Oh.
That's some Amityville in space shit.
Right. Yeah, so I'm just flipping through these and it's like, holy shit.
We're still in the strip club.
Yeah. That's why I'm still reading the list. Ah, it's a skull. There's some in here I forgot that Sci-Fi Channel was, like, the main company putting the money up for. Like, Cube 2 Hypercube is technically a sci-fi original movie.
Really?
It's on the list anyways. I don't know. I'm not going to go through the financing. According to Wikipedia, it counts as a sci-fi picture original film.
Oh no, the killer's a bald man.
Oh no, it could be any of them.
Why are we just with Michael Berryman now?
Because they paid for him, they're going to use him. I can't see what's going on.
I can't tell if she's wearing a bra or she just has a tan line.
You can see things?
No.
Mike got paid?
I have my closet light on, so maybe there's just too much glare. I can't see anything that's happening on the screen.
Why do you have
right
your closet light on?
You know, I didn't want to spill stuff all over my computer.
That's fair.
I can turn that off now. Maybe that would help.
Then you won't be able
still
to
can't see anything, can you?
Whipped cream.
Hey, I've been tricked. There's jack shit on the screen.
I can kind of see Michael Berryman's hands.
I see a hand. Yeah, that's it.
I see his ears.
Oh, there it is. I can see him.
Okay, he found light. Okay, thank God.
Thank God Berryman is a uniquely shaped man, alright? I would just think it was one of the other many bald men who I assume are his children.
They gave him the Addams Family treatment. They just painted him white so he really stuck out in the darkness.
So is he the killer or is he just an unrelated other killer?
I want to lean towards that. I think they just bumped into another killer.
I saw the devil.
No, come to the light.
Is this the Poughkeepsie Tapes killer?
Oh, I'm afraid not, Mike. It is not the Poughkeepsie Tapes.
I really wish we were watching the Poughkeepsie Tapes.
Yeah.
I did that for you.
Have either of you ever been in a situation where you've had to describe the Poughkeepsie Tapes to someone, and then when they ask, "But is it good?" you don't know how to answer?
That's besides the point. The quality doesn't matter.
Well, see, here's the problem. My answer is always, yeah, you want to watch it? And then they ask for the check at that point.
In my particular instance, I ended up describing the sequence where the husband's head is severed and then put inside of the woman's womb intact, which got a blank stare, which I had to follow with, well, I'm not saying the movie isn't stupid. It's just really well made. That is the definition of a movie that was so well made, it was purchased and then not released.
We want to just hide this. Let's just put this away somewhere.
It still trips me out that you can find a fucking Scream Factory edition
so weird,
of the Poughkeepsie Tapes.
I have a friend who keeps asking
happy,
for
but
disturbing
also,
movies. I got to remember to suggest that one to her. Here you go. Have a bad time.
I mean, I know it would be very hard to do, but I would love to do commentary for Poughkeepsie Tapes just because the filmmaking is so fucking good.
So, God, we did a blind commentary for that with like me watching it for the first time years and years ago on another podcast. And that was a hell of an experience to just go through that movie as it unfolds.
Jamie, were you extra disturbed by Mike sitting in the corner recording you on a VHS the entire time?
Just walking like backwards towards you with two masks on.
Get out of there. So I love that we're in a fucking David Ayer police drama now.
Why is everything so bleached out?
I guess we can say that as a pro to the movie. Sure, there's no lights, but they didn't go the opposite direction and just try and fix everything with like color correction that goes too far. This movie isn't like bleached blue or anything. See, and here, like with the flashlight, the darkness makes sense. Like, this is good. This works.
I like whenever scenes are lit with a flashlight. It feels a little haunted house.
Yeah.
And Michael Berryman's going to town there.
Oh no, he's eating her. Coincidentally, right now I'm reading the novelization of Plan 9 from Outer Space, and I feel like this is just lifted from some of that movie. Boy, I brought a real light.
And you know what I wish we were watching right now?
Like
Terrifier 3. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a good movie when that comes out. I'll be watching that at some point, not this. That'll be great.
Christmas.
On Christmas. I'm sure who made this movie is a great person.
It's just very backhanded when you say it that way.
I just want to make that clear that I think he is a good man.
I'm going to look this guy up on Wikipedia, and it's going to turn out he killed his whole family.
He is not a good man if he did that.
Uh-oh.
That was a gunshot.
That's too much laughing.
Oh, so that was just a flashback. Okay, cool. Great. I'm glad we spent time for that for the last 20 fucking minutes.
Seriously, are we in memories of a murder? Are they just going to pass out and forget to catch the serial killer?
I still can't get over the gunshot, which was just...
We're in the third act of the movie, and we're watching a first act flashback sequence.
Solve a crime. I beg of you. Please. There's so much murder happening, and you're in a strip club having a flashback and taking pills. I don't understand with the messaging of this movie. ACAB.
So I'm looking up Kevin McDonald, the director, editor, writer right now. And his Wikipedia says he is an award-winning independent filmmaker in Boston, Massachusetts. Surprise. His first feature film, Beg, won Best Picture at the only Academy Award-accredited film festival in New England, the Rhode Island International Film Festival. So, good for them.
Academy Award accredited? What does that mean?
I don't know. I've never heard of that phrase before. He followed up Beg with the horror noir thriller The Witching Hour, featuring an all-star cast including Michael Madsen, William Forsythe, Tony Todd, Brooke Lewis, and Sue Costello, set to be released in 2024.
Yeah, good for him.
So we've got more coming. That's okay. Let's highlight how insane that is. This movie came out in 2011, and apparently did well enough where it won an award. His next movie is coming out in 2024. It's so hard to make like independent movies. Just it takes so long to get the financing, to get the talent together, to get the whole thing made. It's bonkers. So that's one of the reasons I feel a little bad shitting on stuff like this, but credit where credit's due. This is not really all that entertaining to watch.
I wonder what this was shot on, because I've been trying to figure out, like, is this digital or like mini DV?
Oh, an artistic little shot.
That was a nice 1970s like Euro horror shot.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look now.
See, room to grow.
I mean, there are splashes there.
Have they been at this campfire the entire time?
I love asses. I just can't take anymore. Make it stop, okay? It's making me uncomfortable. It's weird. What is she even doing? You don't know how clean that water is. Something could go up the cooch. Jamie, what was that movie we were watching with Jeffrey Combs where there just was constantly scenes by a fire, like every 30 seconds?
Oh, God, I wish I could remember. I know what you're talking about. I cannot remember.
Yeah, that was a rough one, but...
One more little juicy nugget from the Kevin McDonald IMDb wiki. This is submitted by Anonymous, so it has to be true. But he is currently working to expand the Beg universe with a sequel and a web series. It doesn't say when this was submitted, so this could have been like 10 years ago. But
the Beg cinematic universe.
Everything's got to be a franchise, baby.
You know, considering how many people he kills behind them, it makes you wonder why he's bothering to wear a scary mask.
It's for our benefit. Oh, we got some good squelching. Really, what's a town on that Foley?
Some giallo blood there. Did Beg just go, and then walk away?
You gotta feel it.
That was like movie one collector levels of.
What's the feeling for types of blood here? Do we, as a collective, prefer the really dark, almost black blood, or do we want the cartoonish, like George Romero, melted crayon red blood?
It depends on the tone and like style of the movie.
A movie like this, I want to see some melted crayons.
Yeah.
Mr. Big was just hiding in the water that whole time.
Mr.
That's a biggie.
Mr. Big, sorry.
No, I love the idea that the dude from Sex and the City was in there and then popped out.
That's what he's doing in his spare scenes. When he's not with the girls, he's murdering in Salem.
Oh, a slasher Chris Noth would be terrifying. The man's tall. It's in slow motion.
Swinging the corpses. Swinging the corpses.
Oh, I'm sorry you're frustrated about the case that you're not working.
Time for some law.
Not now, Ray.
Is this a new bald cop, or is this one we've seen before?
I don't know. I can't take this anymore. Why are they all bald?
Don't they all feel like they should be British? I feel like they should all be sad and British.
I really love this. The guy walks in.
You want Ray number 5.
Another bald cop is walking in.
I can't.
I like that this guy walks in and says, it's probably nothing, and has a manila folder that apparently breaks the case wide open, so he has to go start a fight. There's a Todd, a Ryan, and a Riley.
Are those just magazines
in the
on
center
the
of
wall?
all of this.
I don't understand. What kind of weird police station is this?
I don't think Riley, the cop with the mustache, has actually said anything, but he's in multiple scenes, and he's apparently the bad guy of the department. Like, no lines of dialogue. He just kind of shows up, and apparently he's just fucking up in the background.
We got another bald guy.
Oh, Jesus.
It looks like the last bald guy. Also, what house did he knock on the door of? I don't...
Also, I'd be a little concerned if a cop was just walking around saying he was a cop, but he was wearing just like a hoodie.
I don't think that's how being a cop works.
Like, there's no badge on him as far as I can tell. They're not panning down, but it looks like he just came from the gym. I went to pet you with my machete. We saw this in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but done better.
Expanding the big cinematic universe.
Because she's begging.
I am always fascinated by stuff like that, because it is one thing to just knock out a cheapo horror movie in the woods just to raise money for, the thing you really want to do later. That's where I think the real origin for a lot of movies like these ultimately are, that seem very low effort. I think a lot of the time it's just a money-making effort for something else. Yeah. I have so much respect for whenever people make, 5 of these, because that means, against all of the odds, this is a passion project that you want to be doing more than other things. That's very beautiful.
Your point, Jamie. Evil Dead basically got started because they did, Into the Woods, which was just that. Let's spend whatever money we have to show people we can make a movie and just go into the woods and just put something together.
I haven't watched any of these, but I'm fascinated by their existence. A couple of months ago, I stumbled onto a direct-to-video series called Chainsaw Sally. That's just a direct... Sounds cool. It's a copyright-free sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, where this dude directs his wife as... Kmart Sally Hardestry battling various monsters. He made several sequels and then a series with multiple seasons.
Wow.
All dedicated to, look how hot my wife is. Now, if that's not the American dream, I don't know what is.
What a wife guy.
Oh, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together that Tony Moran was the original Michael Myers.
Huh.
Maskless Michael Myers, I should say.
Yeah. Puddle shot.
Can I read a review?
Yeah.
It's 8 out of 10.
Zoom. Fuck.
Scary slasher. Full of horror movie OG'd, in parentheses, original ghouls. I don't know where the D comes from. like Tony Moran, Michael Berryman, and Tony Todd too for some reason. It's pretty moody and cool, and trust to type. Follow the kill a teenager, tell a joke formula, but had its dark and definitely gruesome moments too. The little ear chew shudders.
Sorry, Mike, we're missing a great fight scene between Mr. Bag and our bald cop.
Are we going to see
this
the
is
little
like
ear
the
shoot?
end fight scene in Logan.
He was hiding on top of a tree. He missed him with a machete. Now he's just throwing him through trees. Like, this is actually pretty fun. It's bright, so I can tell what's happening.
Thank God.
Sometimes I miss the IMDb comment boards. Because I feel like that review would have fit right in.
Yeah, I miss them often. I miss it came from Internet Movie Database.
Oh, no, they got him!
Don't worry,
no.
there's other bald cops.
Yeah, but that was our bald cop.
Oh, does Beg just have a gun now? What the fuck?
I think he took the gun from the cop and then shot him in the head. Because the cop had a gun.
You can't break slasher rules like that. You're not art.
Well, they have to show him taking the gun, or else it's confusing, because, like, are there 2 guns in the scene now? Technically 3, because this cop has a gun?
The sun's going down now.
We're losing the light. The scene's over.
Are they about to have the sword fight from the end of Samurai Cop now?
I mean, there's only 15 minutes left, so we have to be getting to the climactic finale.
My God, the beauty.
By the way, I found out the other day that the dude who directed Samurai Cop directed like 5 other movies in America before Samurai Cop, and they all look like Samurai Cop. I cannot believe we've not gone through all of these. Some of them still have Zadar in them.
Oh.
There's one of them which I think is called like Beach Cop or something. That's literally just Samurai Cop without the samurai shit.
That's delightful. Can we do like the career of Robert Zadar?
Oh, that would be awesome. We can talk about Soul Taker.
Obey the laws of time and space.
Do you think
It doesn't so
listening...
much look like a police department, but looks like an outdoor bathroom stall in like a park.
No. Same thing. Do you think anyone at home right now is carving pumpkins to celebrate properly? Do you think people actually listen to Big Ass Pumpkin Day episodes and get in the mood for Big Ass Pumpkin Day?
They're not on this one.
Us. It's true.
Oh, like all American holidays, Big Ass Pumpkin Day has been drained of its true meaning over the past few years.
Fair.
Fucking Hallmark holiday, Big Ass Pumpkin Day.
Everyone just goes to the parking lot and carves a pumpkin instead of doing it at home like it's supposed to be done. This is my dig at Trunk or
Lantern.
I hate it.
I like the idea of a Big Ass Pumpkin Day version of Trunk or Treat where you just go to a 7-Eleven parking lot and a dude opens up the trunk of his car and gives you beer.
Okay, that actually sounds okay.
It does.
It's just a tailgate party.
See, Jamie, I thought you were going to go. You go there. He opens up the trunk of the car, and there's just a jack-o'-lantern lit in there. And he just, that's it. Like, you don't say words to each other. He just shows you the jack-o'-lantern, then closes the trunk.
You just vibe.
The man hands you a knife. You just kind of nod, and you start stabbing at his trunk.
You just move on to the next car. There's another guy smoking a cigarette. Just opens up the trunk.
One of them will have my soul in it. Oh God, this reminds me. It was big news in the South a couple of weeks ago. There were newspaper headlines about it and everything made most local news channels. So there was a bus in Florida.
Pumpkin guts! Sorry to interrupt. I got very excited. Yeah, show that hole.
Yeah,
Get those
scoop
guts.
them out.
Scoop out the guts. Gouge out the eyes.
Anyway, Jamie, you were talking about a bus that couldn't slow down.
Yes, there was apparently a bus moving around Florida, long story short, that was creatively called the Cannabis, that was just arriving in neighborhoods and just selling people weed like an ice cream truck. Beautiful. And it made fucking headline news that after months, the police had caught the Cannabis and ended its reign of terror. They
vibes are in shambles.
They issued a press conference like they'd caught DB Cooper.
God damn, I hate this. Let him go. Let the man be free.
You know what would have been terrifying, though? Is if a mime was driving it. Does not understand.
Doesn't that just sound like the plot of a Cheech and Chong movie that was stopped dead in its tracks? Don't worry, the drivers of the Cannabis have been, of course, sent to Guantanamo Bay.
It's now a crossover with Harold and Kumar.
I was like, no, we're just hanging out with this lady and her nice life. She's done well for herself.
She looks like Lois Lane.
Ghosts. To complain once more about holidays going off the rails. I was at Michael's yesterday. Folks, I'm going to spoil some of the magic. We're not actually recording on Big Ass Pumpkin Day. It's September 26th. I know.
No, it's always live whenever you're listening.
It's live, goddammit. We're coming from your house. So I was in Michael's trying to just see what they had for Halloween stuff, and they've already banished it to like the side aisles. Christmas has taken over all the main spots. They were downsizing and getting rid of all the Halloween shit, and it's not even the end of September. Fuck you, Michael's. I went to Target, and at least they were like, no, everything is Halloween here. Go enjoy Lewis.
Target's Halloween shit has been awesome this year.
They're on point. They're doing the Lord's work.
Oh, I have that pumpkin.
I want to hear something really sad. The other day, Zed and I went into a Spirit Halloween and walked out empty-handed.
Ooh.
I never thought that day would come.
Oof.
They didn't have any of the trick-or-treat masks. That's my yearly tradition.
Your Spirit sounds like it's kind of subpar anyways, though. But it seems like Spirit kind of half-assed it this year. I didn't see as many cool, like, new things in Spirit as I've seen in previous years.
Yeah.
There's more Terrifier representation, and they've upped the amount of Killer Clown stuff, but that seems to be it.
I did get the Killer Clown Cotton Candy handgun. That was neat.
I'm so envious.
And I did buy, I had to have this shipped in because they sell it instantly in actual stores, but the Halloween 2 Skull Pumpkin.
It's a very underrated pumpkin.
It's a cool pumpkin. With the light inside, too, it flickers just slightly, so it feels like there's a candle in there. I love it. Nice. Very, very cool pumpkin.
God, it's not Halloween until I start seeing the Halloween 2 logo in stores. It's that and the Hellraiser 3 logo around every corner.
Scary eye. I just love licensing rights for some of those being easier than others. So it's like, well, we can have Halloween 2 and 4. Those are the ones. They'll be everywhere. We can license those, but not Halloween 1. Quit begging. That's what he wants. It's in the title.
This just looks like...
She said begging 3 times. Beetlejuice is going to come on screen.
It just really looks like Sam from Trick or Treat grew up to have a lot of child actor.
I'm dying! You've killed me!
Boy, she is super dying.
Ooh, it's taken a long time. Ooh, I'm dying here. Oh, you got me.
So it's Tony Todd, right?
I mean, if it's not, then his character had no point in the movie because he just popped up in like 2 scenes, 3 scenes.
What if it's the cop? Jack Fox, you betrayed us.
Is she dead yet? There we go. Okay. That one took a long time. They were really hanging on to that one.
It's Deadpool dying in Deadpool 2. Is he just going to take off his mask and have a smoke?
Not that we could tell. The only thing I can see in this scene is the flames from the pumpkin.
What a night.
Jack grunts.
Oh, I was right.
Oh, no.
I was right.
It's the bald cop.
There with his
My
signature
stupid
cigar.
joke was real.
He's been smoking in every scene.
I like how the cigar is there so you can tell it's him and not one of the other bald men.
Yep.
I don't like that my stupid joke was how the movie actually is.
I mean, they killed everyone except for the bald cops and Tony Todd, so there's a limited pool of people it could be.
Like, they killed one bald cop.
They did, yeah.
So I have a question that why in the close-ups of his eyes did he appear to be black?
Maybe they changed their mind, or maybe there's two, and one's Tony Todd, and one's the Book of Shadows. Oh no!
Why are we in Blair Witch 2 all of a sudden?
No! Oh, it's officially Halloween now. It's a little bogus that they did all the killing before Halloween.
It was a busy night.
Yeah. Maybe Halloween fell on like a Monday this year, so no one was really feeling the killing on a weekday.
All right, that was just a weird montage that happened for some reason.
Oh, gotta put my murdering mask back on. But I didn't even finish my cigar. Oh. Mr. Begg is talking now and he's not as scary. Oh no, the ghosts are gonna get you.
Are witches about to kill him now? This is what happens if you go after the goths.
So we were watching a slasher movie like this on Tubi last week, where the Jason Voorhees-esque mute serial killer of the woods had one line halfway through the movie, which was after cutting a dude's head off, saying, "Stay the fuck out of my woods!" And the fact that that was in the middle of the movie was really the piece de resistance. Not even the end, just the middle. Like that was all that was missing from that was all it was missing from In a Violent Nature.
Big hard rock music.
Hard rock music, by the way.
It's upbeat because victory.
I feel like that movie didn't have a lot of ending to it.
No, well, that's why they're expanding the Begg cinematic universe.
We're going to see the story of Clayton Starks, which that is a movie serial killer name if I ever heard one.
Yeah,
yeah, I can't trust any Claytons.
Clayton Starks needs to battle Creighton Dukes.
We got a Ben, we got a Dez, a Mary, an Oswald, a Scott Rayburn, a Jim, a Summer, a Becky, a Norm, a Shelley, a Chrissy.
That is
goth co-ed, homework co-ed, shower
Lindsay,
co-ed.
Jesus. Got
a little bit of
Dick
Freddie
Patton
in my life, a little bit of Sandy by my side.
Hot
A Holly,
Tub
a Molly, a
Girls.
Cindy.
Tim Daly.
With David Langill as Party Ghost.
Yeah.
Faceless Mary. Janitor Willie. And the rest.
And then butt rock playing. I don't remember cheerleaders.
Yeah, I'm assuming they were talking about the ones at the costume party.
I was at bar extras. Mike.
I
was in
Joe
there.
Matt.
Did you guys know that?
Mike refused to leave, so they just filmed around him. To be nice, there were moments in there where I'm like, oh, that's promising. There are a couple of like cool throwback style shots. Not that they connected anything, like the slow zoom in on the clock to let us know that it's officially Halloween. Put with something else, that would be a fun little shot. By itself, it doesn't quite work. But, you know, there's the promise of it. The very, very ending there seemed like we could have had a fun idea of, like, the dead coming back for vengeance. Not that we really got it, but it's a neat hint of an idea. I'm trying to be nice, but this music is taking everything out of me.
The music
wind
is
out of my
brutal.
sails.
So did he just license pre-existing Harry Manfredini music?
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Manfredini just phoned it in, gave him like 2 minutes to score.
Oh, he's like Stephen King. He just has a list of dollar babies.
I don't want to say a lot, but I'm seeing a lot of repeat last names.
Hey, Kevin McDonald's also the sound engineer.
He's a man of many hats.
Shauna McDonald.
Hey, Tim Daly was the Lyft driver.
Hey, they actually had craft services though, so that's nice.
Also by Shauna McDonald after she was done, and Tim Daly. He baked some muffins. I really can't wait to find out who made this song.
So this movie really reminds me of Trick. I don't know if you ever saw that, but I think it's just like the the pumpkin-headed killer thing, and the mystery behind who could be doing the killings.
And Tony Todd.
I would not recommend either film, just to make that very clear.
Hey, Michael Berryman was a producer.
Oh, that's nice of him.
He wants to rape you in my blood red blue dreams. I don't know if I like those lyrics. Yeah, sure, it's original score by Harry Manfredini. Uptight, perform, beg. Oh my god, this is an actual song about the movie.
Oh wow!
Written
I am
by
only
Richard
saying I want
Skinner,
more of those.
Dickie Skins.
Skinny Cavallo and Dickie Skin. What an incredible fucking. Oh, Anders Manga is actually a fan. That's a shame. Imagine dying and having this movie dedicated to you.
I mean, that's something. It's better than not having a movie dedicated to you.
That's true. That's true.
I want a bad movie dedicated to me.
That wasn't an after credit scene. That was just a screensaver. Apparently not. It didn't come soon.
Beg 2 coming soon. Beg 2 coming eventually. We're gonna fix that one.
Beg 2.
That's an ironclad promise, though. If you say Beg 2 coming soon, you got to make it eventually. You can't not do it.
Beg
the movie gods will
return.
smite you. You'll be begging for the sequel.
Can I read this other review?
Yes.
I'm not going to read all of it because it's really fucking long.
Okay.
This is someone who dedicated like an afternoon to reviewing the movie Beg and gave it 4 out of 10 stars.
Oof.
Tony, I just like some of the wording in this opening paragraph. Tony Todd as a teacher rocking some reading glasses and sure to creep you out, but not just with his bellowing voice as he talks to his classroom about the origins of Halloween, especially that of the jack-o'-lantern. That moment did draw me in, but that's how the independent shot on digital horror Beg plays out. The plot is drawn out, in parentheses, graceless teen boredom, self-doubting cops, family dramas, and loosely connected, in parentheses, with so many characters coming and going, as only samples of the narrative engages, while other parts don't, in parentheses, illustratively bland character building, or simply there to pad out the picture, in parentheses, Debbie Rochon listening to music.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And then it just keeps going like that.
I mean, the review is pretty spot on, I gotta say. Like, Tony Todd's character is fun, but not really essential to anything at all.
Why'd he strangle a woman?
He was just mad at her. She's giving away too much of his family details. I think he was cheating. Anyways,
guys,
that's been
Beg. I think we learned the true meaning of Big Ass Pumpkin Day.
If you see a person wearing a big ass pumpkin on their head, probably a killer. Just stay away from them.
Definitely a killer.
Definitely a killer.
Will always be a killer.
I don't know. There's got to be a couple of friendly lunatics walking around with giant pumpkins on their head that are giving away like pumpkin seeds, right?
Ooh, that would be nice. Like a Johnny Pumpkin seed.
Yeah, just nation to nation walking around planting pumpkins.
And that's delicious.
I'm just thinking of that in like the Lex Luthor voice. Like, at 40 pies? He stole them?
Can we end now?
Yes. Folks, thank you so much for listening to our Big Ass Pumpkin Day celebration. We hope you have a delightful October 14th / 2nd Saturday of the month, whatever you choose to celebrate.
There's two minds on the subject.
There's 2 minds on the subject. We hope you make a giant pumpkin carving of your own to celebrate and have a wonderful, wonderful pre-Halloween. This has been Box Office Pulp. If you want more of us, you can find us on boxofficepulp.com. We're on Spotify, YouTube, you name it. If it plays podcasts, we're probably there. Check us out. We have other episodes where we actually watch the movie ahead of time and have notes and positive things to say. You should watch some of those. Those are fun. We're fun, I swear.
We're fun, I swear.
Yeah, I ran out of arguments after that. It just sounded desperate. Anyways, folks, thanks for joining us. That's a wrap. Let's get the hell out of here.
Big ass pumpkin day. Big ass
pumpkin day.
Big ass
pumpkin day.
It's a big ass
pumpkin day. Everybody.
Big ass pumpkin day.
Pumpkin day.
Big ass
pumpkin day.
Big ass
Big ass pumpkin day. It's a big ass pumpkin day.
I hate this movie.
Beg for it to end.
You get more out of life when you go out to a movie. Please remember to replace the speaker on the post when you leave the theater.